Hi, this is Chris Bosch, and you're listening to Animal House Radio with Aaron and Dr. Mike.
I just imagine if they're really sensitive to a smell like that, it could be really harmful for the dog.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for them to tell you they have a headache as well. So, you know.
So
anyway.
That's pretty interesting, and I thought you'd get Google paw fumes. It's
paw fumes.
Paw fumes.
Very good. What else do you got?
Another thing in the news: the Humane Society in Belleville, Ontario, announces a new policy for drop-off pets. Now, this I kind of found interesting, but amusing at the same time. So basically, what they're saying is, if you're going to drop off a pet, so say for instance, you find a pet, you find an animal at 1 a.m. in Bellevue, Ontario, which is not too far from here, a couple of hours away. Belleville.
Is it Belleville or Bellevue? No, there's no Bellevue. Belleville.
Okay. I'm from Quebec.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You English slaughterers, I don't know. That's it. So anyways, basically what happens is that if you want to bring by a pet for an adoption, you have to call ahead. So it's kind of defeats the whole purpose in my mind of a drop-off system. And what they're saying right now is that the shelter needs a home. You know, for animals who need a home, you shouldn't drop them off without appointments. With an animal being dropped off without an appointment, it could lead to an unnecessary euthanasia, says
Really?
Megan Bush of the Humane Society. She says that she's been here for about a year. She's seen close to 100 cats dropped off in the parking lot, and half of them had to be put down, because she's saying, and essentially what the Humane Society in Belleville is saying, is that when you bring a cat there, they need to have certain things prepared.
Oh, yeah.
They need to have cages prepared, food prepared, all these different things prepared in advance. You don't want to freeze the animal to freeze to death outside, right, and overheat as well during the summer. So they've changed their policy, and she says in this article basically that this policy could continue in other places in Ontario as well. So if you have an animal and you live in Belleville, like a lot of our listeners do right now, especially people who read our 24-hour column in Ottawa, very close to the same area code, 613, watch out. And for more information on this, 613-968-4673, or you go to thehumanesociety.com, QUINTE, humanesociety.com. Go there, check out the new information about their drop-off policies. Because you know what, if it's a 50-50 chance, you want to do things the right way. You know
what's interesting? In almost 20 years I've been practicing, I've seen at least a half a dozen times where people have dropped off animals at our clinic front door. You know, we come in the morning and there's a kitten in a box, or 5 kittens in a box. We've had puppies left in a box. I mean, it's crazy. I think if you don't want them, call us. We'll help take them off your hands, but don't just dump them in the front. I mean, I just stop and think, what would happen, God forbid, I don't know.
Yeah, something happens at night, raccoon or...
And who knows when they drop them off? All I know is we're coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're there, so who knows how long they've been there for.
Yeah, that's the problem,
all night,
right?
Anyway, it's
we don't know this. So
it happens many times.
Yeah, so the news is brought to you in part by Tech Savvy, a high-speed 5 meg DSL internet service for $29.95 a month. There is no contract. Visit them. www.techsavvy.com. That is TEKSAVVY.com, or call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1-877-779-1575. Made in Canada. All their employees are in Canada. They do not outsource. They insource, creating great Canadian jobs. They've got a great product. Dr. Mike and myself are both powered by Tech Savvy. Great service. They provide home service and long-distance service and anything. They're that savvy. They're that good. Great. We just had an email just a couple seconds ago from our good friend Joe at Best Buy. Says, thanks for the shout out. I'm going to give you guys some free stuff. Joe, call up the program and give us something free. We want some free stuff. What do we want? Let's ask Joe something, that we can use for our animals. Joe's a big shot at Best Buy.
Okay.
What can he give us for free? Joe, you got to call up and give us something for free. We'll make him... It's a surprise. Joe's going to call up the show, give us something for free, and it's his surprise. Thank you, Joe, for giving us something for free. 416-785-0680 is the phone number, or info@animalhouseradio.com. So tonight, once again, we're talking about declawing, and I want... If you can call up, we can try to accept the charges long distance. We're trying to get the system through now where we can accept long distance charges. So go ahead, try the show, 416-785-0680. If you're in Edmonton, Alberta, anywhere in Canada, because we are coast to coast, especially in the newspaper, we will accept the long distance charges and somehow pay Child Radio. We're good for it.
Now, before we go on to the topic, I'd like to speak of some news myself. Was it last night on CTV?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yesterday on CTV, a gentleman named by Pat Thorne was going over some of the consumer reports on pet foods.
Well, they have a segment called Consumer Reports.
Right. And so this was on the cost of pet foods.
Yeah.
Essentially. And I just want to outline a few things that he said.
And we had a lot of emails. I think there was close to 100 people emailing you about saying, is this true? Because
right. it
was different from all the things that you said.
Well, I want to talk about it because there's some things that he said that are true, and there's some things that he said that I don't say aren't true, but I don't think there was enough research done to know the real answer. So the first thing that he said, and I'm quoting him, is what they eat is just as important as what the family eats. And he was trying to describe families in Ontario, and I agree with that. A lot of people want to feed their pets the best thing they can. And I tell you, I did some personal research of my own about a year ago where I went into the supermarket and I was just sort of looking around, checking out the ingredients. And by the way, unfortunately in Canada, everything on the ingredient list is reported as an as-fed basis, which is completely useless when it comes to comparing. You grab a bag of dog food that says it has 8% protein and another bag of dog food that's $10 more that says 8% protein, it means absolutely nothing. You can't say, oh, they got the same amount of protein, because that's on an as-fed basis. They haven't taken the water out. There's no nutrient analysis. It's just pure, it's got this much fat, it's got this much protein, but they're all minimums. I don't know if you've seen that. It says minimum 10% fat. Well, what does that mean?
Exactly.
Could have 40% fat, and that's minimum 10, right? So anyway, never read a bag of food in the Canadian market and expect to compare it with another bag of food. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to sort of see what it was like in terms of how much you have to feed a dog. So I grabbed a really inexpensive bag of dog food, which was $10 for a 13-pound bag. And I essentially compared that to one of our prescription brand of dog foods, one of the more expensive brand of dog foods in our clinic, which was $21 for the same 13-pound bag. So it's 2.2 times the price. And one, you had to feed, the cheap supermarket brand, you had to feed 3/4 of a cup of dog food, and a full cup of dog food.
Yep.
And the exact same one that we had, you had to use 3/4 of a cup. The long and the short is, if for a 10-pound dog, the difference in cost between the cheapy bag and the more expensive bag was $2.93 a month. So essentially, to feed your dog the cheapest possible dry dog food in the supermarket compared to a prescription diet, which I'm not recommending everybody go out and buy a prescription diet, but I was going from one extreme to the other. Yeah. The difference is $3 a month for a 10-pound dog.
In terms of
and
how
a 60-pound dogs would be $18 a month, so 6 times that. So
yeah,
it's not. People have to compare apples to apples. What they're doing is they're comparing this price of this bag to that bag.
Well, what they're doing is creating a story for people who have pets in this hard economy, and people are saying, well, where can I shed some money? I mean, it's 2 cents. It's the news, right? So you gotta. What the news will do is they'll twist things up, and they'll say, hey, everybody's going through a bad time. What could be something that we can help people save $20 or $30 a month on?
Right.
Hey, let's do a story on pet food and premium foods. Do they really need these things? Well, no. Right. So at the end of the day, that's exactly what they did. The information at the end of the story I didn't like.
Right. So they went on and they said that, the Consumer Report said there's no agreed upon standards for the terms organic, human grade, premium. I agree with that in terms of pet food labels. You can go out and charge a lot for a bag of food and call it premium or call it, human grade.
Yeah, it's just marketing.
That's a marketing ploy. Yep. I agree on that. And I also agree on the statement that they said that they talked to veterinarians and it should be feed tested on animals. You don't want to buy a bag of food that just they made it as a nutrient analysis.
Yeah, or then just,
they fed it to dogs.
Richmond ate it and stuff like that.
Right.
Richmond's like, yeah, it's okay with me.
But yes, the one thing that we both listened to that I really disagreed upon is the concept that he said that people should look out to buy an all life stage food, which I got to tell you, I just cringed when he said that. And essentially because that's nutritionally balanced for all stages of an animal's life. And anybody would know that what you feed a puppy and a senior dog are two totally different animals.
Of course.
Right? If you have the same, it's no different than Pediasure for an infant and Ensure for a senior. They're both liquid diets. In fact, they're both made by the same company, but you would never want to swap the two, because although they're, liquid diets, they're different.
Well, you're not going to feed baby food to someone who's in their 20s because it's different protein, different things that you need.
Different requirements at different ages.
Exactly. So I definitely think that CTV needs to do a little retraction on that. One little piece at the end there.
Yeah, the all-life stage thing, because I totally disagree with that.
Yeah,
I think that was really going overboard.
You know what? And I've done my research.
I'm going to write him a letter.
I'm going to send a memo.
Yeah.
But while you were doing that, I got another email from somebody saying, hey, since you're throwing shout-outs, can you throw me one? My name is Diana, and I'm an avid listener to the program. So,
hey, Diana.
Hey, Diana, thanks for listening. And, Diana, you rock. Thanks for listening to Animal House Radio.